Grammar, spelling, punctuation. Boring, right? Not really if you spend some time mastering the basics of the English language. You'll be surprised at what a difference it can and will make in your life. Let's start with the bad news. The English language is extremely complicated and there are very few people who understand its every rule and intricacy. The good news is that you don't have to be an expert. Investing some time to learn the basics will be time well spent. You'll put yourself ahead of the competition. What competition? The person who relies on their computer to correct everything for them, who is then completely unaware of the numerous and costly mistakes they make in the exam. Or the person who applies for the same job as you in the future, but makes lots of errors in their application. You guessed it, they don't get the job.
So let's start with a sentence. Have you ever stopped to think about how to actually define a sentence? It is perhaps more difficult than you would imagine. Basically, you can write a sentence for 4 different purposes. Firstly, to make a statement such as, I hate chocolate. Secondly, to ask a question, such as, how on earth can you hate chocolate? Thirdly, to make a request or a demand, such as, try some white chocolate. And finally, to exclaim something like, what a ridiculous idea! So we have statements, questions, commands, and exclamations. Those are the types of sentences you will come across. The most common sentence type, as you may have already guessed, is the statement sentence. This is the one we will focus on, so you can understand the parts of a sentence.
The rule is that a statement sentence must contain a subject and a verb. The subject tells us who or what the sentence is about. The subject can be one word or a group of words. If the subject is a group of words, it's called a phrase. Let's have a look at how knowledge of the subject can help us write correctly. For the purposes of this exercise, we'll make our subject a chap called Ed.
Now, in a statement sentence, the subject usually comes before the verb, as in the sentence, Ed has been playing his guitar a lot recently. Sometimes, however, the subject doesn't come right at the beginning of a sentence. This can be heard in the sentence, this week, Ed has been playing his guitar a lot. Every now and again, the subject can come up after the verb, as in the sentence, over in the corner stood Ed. This can be a little confusing, but the main things to remember are that a statement sentence should contain a subject, and more often than not, this comes before the verb.
A statement sentence must also contain a verb which describes an action or state. As we said earlier, this usually comes after the subject. Our example was Ed has been playing his guitar a lot recently. Ed is the subject and playing is the verb. So what does a verb do? It can give information about an action. We are told that Ed is playing the guitar. It can also give us information about a state or condition. An example being the verb loves in the sentence, Ed loves playing the guitar. Finally, a verb can serve just to link the subject and the rest of the sentence, where it works like an equals sign and a sum. An example is the verb seems in the sentence, Ed seems happy. These are called linking verbs. Just remember that a statement sentence must contain a subject and a verb, and you're on your way to writing accurately and correctly.